Hi guys, Ned here from Ned's Tool Talk. I just made a new purchase and there is also a track and a bag that comes with it. Obviously this is a Milwaukee M18 tracksaw. It's an Australian market one. It came out in Australia a couple of months ago. I used up all these Christmas special and Ryobi deals at All Tools and I picked up one of these. It is a hefty priced item. It's not cheap by any means. I can't say how much my wife will. Not gonna be a good day for me. Anyways, we're talking about a Milwaukee tracksaw. What is the tracksaw? How does the tracksaw work? What's the difference between a tracksaw and a circular saw? Well, tracksaw, the name says it, will have a track. Also, I purchased this bag that can carry 2 tracks with it. By the way, I like the red track in Australia compared to the just normal silver ones in US. Okay, so with the track you're gonna get a spare, like a rubber, guide rubber. So let's get this away there. Okay, alright, so a track is needed for a tracksaw, obviously, and a tracksaw goes on top of that. The whole purpose of the tracksaw versus a circular saw concept is that you can put a saw on the track, you can put a track down on a piece of wood, and you can run it in one nice motion rather than having to put either a level or a piece of wood or something against the bottom of the saw to cut a piece of wood. It's much more accurate cut. If you're cutting chipboards or whiteboards and stuff like that, you can even use, so it's got a small dial here that you can turn on and use the scoring function. Now when you first use this track, it's gonna cut through this rubber, and after that you line up this rubber against exactly where you want to cut it against your marks, and then that's gonna give you an accurate cut. So I still haven't even used it. So that's the main difference between a circular saw and a tracksaw. It is much more specialized tool for cabinet makers, maybe carpenters, whatever. If you want to make something fine, if you want to cut a piece of wood very precisely and nicely and very accurate and straight, this is the tool to use for. So it's got a riving knife. It's 165mm blade. It can go to 45 degrees and all those options, but I'm gonna bring a camera a little bit closer so I can show you those things. I also prefer using it with a I will be using it actually, I still haven't used it, with a 6 amp hour high output battery. I think 4 or 5 amp hours are a little bit on a weak side for this saw. Maybe 8, even 8 amp hour would be fine, but 12 amp hours I think it's a little bit too heavy on a tracksaw or a circular saw type of a tool. So let's get you a little bit closer and let's see some of the options on this tool. So to start with, first things first, circular saw in comparison to a track saw in comparison to a circular saw has a button here which disengages the lock, and when you disengage the lock you push down, so it's a spring-loaded mechanism. You can see a spring right there. It's a heavy duty spring, but it feels very nice and smooth going down. So it's a spring loaded mechanism that lets you plunge in and push, and then after that you got a riving knife that's gonna keep that piece of wood from pinching and pushing the saw back on you, or even jumping and hitting you. That's the first thing. Second thing is you've got a lock here, which, how was it? So you push the saw down, so you press the button, you push the saw down and you flick this up, you push the saw down, and it's gonna lock in a position where you can change the blade or install a blade. To change the blade you gotta push this button down, and that's to lock it in. And this button here is to push so you can lock in the spindle there. You do that, and then just push down and it comes back into the normal spot. You're gonna have an Allen key right on top of the handle here. Where is it? Come on. It's in rubber, it doesn't want to come out, but anyways, it's right there on top of the handle, Allen key, Allen wrench, so you can replace the blade. On the back side of the saw, you've got 6 speeds. See no other point than using it in the number 6 one. Okay, back to the front. Here, this is how you adjust the depth, okay? So it goes to 60 mil. Number 2 and number 1. So number 2 is when you have the track saw on the track. That's your depth adjustment when the track saw is on the track. So that would be in a 10 millimeter now. Number 1 is when you use the track saw without the track, because the track obviously adds some height to the saw. So number 1, this would be now in 10 millimeters if you use the track without the saw. You can also, so you see how it stops right there. You can also have this dial and you can do some finer adjustment if you need to. Also on the saw, you're gonna have one knob here and another knob, sorry, right here, and another knob here. Okay, so the back knob you press down and you spin. This is so you can lock the track saw in the track, in a channel of the track, when you're using it on a 45-degree angle, so it doesn't fall out of the track. So you don't have to be pushing it down or worry about it falling out. So that's that button knob. These two are, you got the sliders here that glide in a track. So when you spin them, you can, let me just bring you a bit closer there. So when you spin these dials, you can pinch the saw on the track a little bit. You can pinch the saw on the track, so that way saw is not gonna be moving around on you. And same with this one as well. There, I'm gonna put the saw on the track as well. I'll show that. Another thing is to move the saw, so it goes from 0 to 45, but then you can, by pressing this button here, there, you can move it further to 48 degrees or to -1 degree. How does that work? So you undo this in here, and you undo this one on the back as well. Now the saw will go to 45, but if you push this forward, saw goes to 48. Same way if the saw is all the way down, if you push this forward, it's gonna go to -1. And as soon as you move it up, it clicks nicely into 0 degrees. Also, there is a dial at the front that presets on 0 or on 22.5. So if you put it on 22.5, as soon as you push the saw, when it comes to 22.5 degrees, it's gonna physically stop there. Okay? When you put it back to 0, it goes up to 45. And then you just tighten it back, and the back one, and that's it. Dust collection wise, it's got a very good dust collection. So it's got a very good dust collection. This is the dust collector that comes with it. Feels fine, it feels alright. Still brand new, not for long. Goes on there. And that's how it looks with a dust collector on. Okay, so this is how the saw looks on the track. I've just put it the other way around. This is not how you would be cutting. You'd have the blade towards you. I'm just showing how it looks like. Alright, so the knobs that I was talking about, the locking knob, so see now the saw can easily fall out if you're cutting 45, but when you get this one out, there's a knob that's stuck into the track here. The saw can't physically come out now. Same with these ones. See how the saw moves a little bit around now? When you tighten these things, and the front one, loosen it a little bit, just make it nice and smooth. See this? No movements whatsoever, and the saw still glides beautifully easily. There we go. I think now we should probably go outside, put it on a piece of wood and make a first cut with this. So I think it's about the time, and I'm keen as well to try it. Alright guys, so here it's all set up. Got a table, I've got a piece of wood, it's about 25mm thick. I've clamped it at the back so just so it doesn't move on the table, because plastic, wood on plastic, it just moves around. Now I'm gonna first make a cut, not cutting the wood, just to cut this of the track on the saw. That's gonna be the first cut, and then the second cut I am gonna do on the actual wood to see, because this side is cut already, but it's very rough. I just wanna make it nice and smooth. So let's get to cutting. Let's see how it works. It's the first time for me also. I'm just gonna hold the track a little bit because I'm getting off the wood here. I gotta adjust the depth. Silly me. Alright, so as you can see, this is what we've got off. That's that first cut that you gotta do to make it nice and level. So get the saw off, and I'm gonna line it up on the wood here. I already know where I want to cut, so there's a bit of a cut here. It was clear for clearance for something. I just want to get that off. Line this up nicely. Oh, bless me. Okay, okay. Let's get to cutting. I'm a right-handed, so this is gonna be a little bit awkward, but hopefully it should be okay. The depth is set. Let's set the depth to 28mm. Should be all right. All right, let's do it. Nice, smooth, beautiful cut. So this was the cut that was on there before, just rough. It was almost like hand sewn, and look at this. This is so smooth, it literally doesn't even need any kind of sanding or anything. And there's no dust on me, which is come from a circular saw user. I come from a circular saw for this kind of stuff. This is very unusual. There's only this port here. People sometimes put covers for them, but there's no dust on me. There's very little dust on the table. I mean, this obviously, yeah, dust collector obviously did its thing. It's quite full for that one cut, which is, that's impressive, honestly. I love this thing. I absolutely love this thing. Let's see the cut. It is gorgeous. is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful cut. Love it. Alright, so final impressions and some thoughts. I don't know why I didn't buy it earlier. I've been debating about a tracksaw for probably good 6-7 months. Finally pulled the pin a couple of weeks ago. I am so happy that I did, and I wish I bought this kind of saw earlier. You can't even compare it to circular saw for stuff like this if you want a nice and precise cut. It is expensive again, but if you like tools, if you're into tools, if you make stuff, if you use tools, it's well worth it. I mean, I just made a bed for my daughter, and I made it before I bought a tracksaw. I made it with a circular saw and table saw, and it was an absolute pain. I wish I had this thing when I was making a bed. It would make my life so much easier, and the final product would have been so much nicer. Now, when you buy a tracksaw, if you buy a tracksaw, do yourself a favor. Obviously, you gotta buy a track as well. Do yourself a favor. Pick up one of these bags. It costs $100. I know it's not cheap. It's not even that expensive. Let's be honest. It's $99 to be exact. $100 rounded off. It fits, so you can fit 2 tracks in there. These tracks are made out of aluminium, and they are very, very they're fine. So what I mean is, if there's a bit of a bend or a hit or a dent on it, it's just not gonna be the same. Your cut is not gonna be as accurate as it should be. Do yourself a favor, go to Total Tools, go to Sydney Tools, to any other retailer in Australia. If you've been thinking about it, pick it up, grab it, use it, try it, you will love it. I can't say more good things about it, but this was my first use, and I'm absolutely impressed with it. I don't even know what else to say about the saw. Probably after a couple of uses I'll know more things about it, but this is just from my education, my research, and the first use. Guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully sometime soon, if this weather in Melbourne doesn't start pouring down again, because it's been absolutely horrendous for the last couple of weeks. See ya, bye.